Hello, my name is Katie Clay, and for my major project in counseling theory, I have chosen to develop a case analysis and treatment plan for a client that suffers from alcohol-related disorder. And for the purposes of this project, I did create a fictional client, and that was so that I could really delve deeply into specific ways to treat the client rather than generalizing about a treatment plan that may or may not work for anyone that suffers from an alcohol-related disorder. I also am able to kind of go back into biographical and historical information of the client and implement that throughout the analysis and treatment plan. And so that's the rationale behind creating a fictional client. To tell you a little bit about the client himself, he is a 26-year-old Caucasian male. He is prior service military. He served 5 years in the Army and was honorably discharged due to an injury that he sustained in a deployment to Afghanistan in 2009. And he is currently working at a consulting firm, but due to his alcohol use, his attendance and performance at work has been increasingly poor. And so his boss recently approached him and told him that in order to have the option of keeping his job, that he had to seek treatment for his alcohol use. And so that's what brought him to me, and that's kind of how I'm approaching this project. As for his treatment plan, I'm recommending that he does individual therapy with me, as well as being actively participating in an AA 12-step program. The theories that I'm going to be using, primarily I'm going to be using Adlerian theory, and the rationale behind choosing Adlerian as my primary theory is largely because of the social awareness and social context focus that goes throughout Adlerian theory. I really think that that's important for someone that's also part of an AA program, because that's a huge part of what they focus on in the 12 steps of an Alcoholics Anonymous program is being aware of how your behavior has affected those around you and making amends for the way that your alcohol use has been a detriment to your relationships and to the people that you're around. Also, in Adlerian theory, the idea that your past is important, but it's more important how you perceive your past and how that perception of your past affects your current behavior. It's common for addicts to want to blame their past negative experiences for their current alcohol use. And so by using Adlerian theory in that respect, it kind of forces the client to really take ownership of how that negative perception of past is really creating negative behavior presently. And also that does tie in again with some of the focuses of AA with taking responsibility for your behavior. And also going back to that social awareness piece and that social context piece, a huge part of the 12-step program in Alcoholics Anonymous is to help others in their recovery. And so I feel like Adlerian theory and the 12-step program that is in place with Alcoholics Anonymous really pair really well together. And so that is why I've chosen Adlerian as my primary theory. I'll also be incorporating person-centered theory into the process and the treatment plan, mainly in regards to the client-therapist relationship. There is a negative stigma in our society towards addicts of any kind, and a lot of addicts feel like they are the lowest of the low and that they are looked down on by the rest of society. And so I feel that it's extremely important for me as the therapist to really use congruence and unconditional positive regard and accurate empathy, those three main skills that are part of person-centered theory and therapy, to really develop a trusting relationship between myself and the client with mutual respect, so that he doesn't feel judged by me the way that he may feel judged by society. I'll also be using rational emotive behavior therapy as part of the relapse prevention plan when I discuss with the client some of his triggers that cause him to desire alcohol and make him want to drink, and how to cope with those triggers. So that will also be used as well. And that is just a brief overview of my project and the client and the theories that I plan to use and implement in the analysis and treatment plan for this client. And I hope that as you continue to watch and read, that the information presented is informative and helpful. Thanks for watching.